What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Zoe, known as off DFS, here to bring you that NBA slate breakdown for the 2-game NBA slate. Small NBA slate after having a big 10-game slate yesterday. Hopefully you guys did well. I know that core everything we cashed pretty good yesterday. Just trying to pull it up right now so I can look at it. Hopefully you guys are getting that content, everything that I'm putting out over here, not only on the channel but up on the Patreon. If you guys are looking for that stuff right there, you're trying to go ahead and get my player pool, cores, props, and not only my stuff but everyone else over here at the Know These All family. Check the link down in the description below for the Patreon. It is right there. I promise you guys won't be disappointed with that. I know for sure if you guys watched the video yesterday, I definitely think that we called out some pretty good things and definitely had some decent cores and stuff put up. And I'll tell you guys, the ticker, the one that really helped push me over the edge was the low owned value. Not even value, just the low owned percentages for those Clippers players, which I talked about at the end of the stream, looking at it for that late night hammer in between Paul George, who had an amazing night last night, Kawhi Leonard, an amazing night as well, and then James Harden, who had he did about his basic stuff right there going out there, but it was pretty good. If you stack the Cavs, I was pretty high on looking at the Cavs. I even talked about just game stacking that right there for price picks, things like that. I'm not gonna lie, the price pick slip that I stacked didn't do as well, just because the Cavs ended up blowing them out in the second half of the game. But the blowout, the fact that those Cavs players, Jared Allen popped off, Donovan Mitchell, he had literally a floor game. But I swear, if Washington Wizards actually kept the game close, he more than likely would have at least hit over that 50+ fantasy point thing right there. But he was on pace too. Definitely missed some easy bunnies and shots that he could have got right there. And then just Max Strus literally talked about it, like the dude coming off of a really bad shooting game, went out there. I think that he was like 5 for 5 at one point from 3, was lighting it up. Beautiful, really good reads and calls right there. So honestly, if you had the Cleveland stack just right going up in that game for Washington, you did really well in that game. So hopefully we can find some more nuggets like that on today's slate for the 2-gamer. Really interesting, especially with the Vegas totals and stuff that I'm looking at. So if you guys are looking for more content like that and things of that nature, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out whenever I do upload videos over here on the channel, and drop a like on the video if this video or any of my prior videos has helped you guys win some money. With that being said, let's go ahead, let's get into it. Again, if you guys are looking for like my player pool, my cores, my props, and everyone else over here at the Know These All family, check the link down in the description below so you guys can get into the Patreon. You guys won't be disappointed with the content being put up over there. All right, so looking at it, Milwaukee taking on San Antonio Spurs. This spread shouldn't be as low as what it is. It's a 9-point spread. This tells me that some news hasn't been broken yet. Vegas knows something. 9-point spread. A Milwaukee Bucks team going up against a weak San Antonio Spurs team, 5-28. A Wemby who's been on a minutes limit, hasn't played over 27, 28 minutes since he's came back in quite some time. Something is going to happen in this game. Something. I doubt that Trey Jones being put into the starting lineup because Branham is going to be out. An actual true point guard really is going to shake up and make Vegas think that this is going to be a 9-point spread. This most Spurs games, we've kind of seen them being double-digit spreads, things like that, especially when you have a alpha team in the Milwaukee Bucks who beat them like what, 132 to 119 last time they played. Doesn't make sense, isn't clicking. Something is going to break. Now, one of those things that I do believe that can break, and of course sites like RotoWire, DraftKings, all of them, they have him listed as questionable. Chris Middleton, he hasn't played in a back-to-back all season. He hasn't. Normally he'll sit out on the front end or he'll sit out on the back end of a back-to-back. He has not played in a back-to-back at all. Now, I know they ramped up his minutes, he's playing over his 30 minutes, so on and so forth, but still, we haven't seen him play a back-to-back yet. More than likely the candidate to go ahead and be rested here and not play on today's slate. So I'm definitely interested to figure out and see what's going to be going on with that right there. Of course, that's the biggest news that we have to worry about in the first game. Luckily, it is the first game, so we should have that news. Outside of the Chris Middleton, nothing else really to know over here from Milwaukee unless they decide they want to sit a whole bunch of players. But of course, we will have that news before the slate actually locks. Over here for the San Antonio Spurs side, Branham, he's doubtful to play. Collins, he's still out. Wemby, last time I checked, still on a minute limit, not going to play. Maybe I'll give him 28 to 30 minutes, maybe, since his minutes did get ramped up just a little bit last game. Trey Jones, he is going to finally start. Thank you. Finally, Pop, you have to actually play a point guard at the point guard position. We officially will finally actually have Trey Jones, who, even though wasn't starting, was still playing decently, about 25-ish minutes a game anyway. Looks really good whenever he's out there on the court, which I would expect. The offense looks much better with a true actual point guard who knows how to play the position out there leading your team. So that's really good to actually see. Denver, they got all their guys back. Reggie Jackson, he's been a game time decision for almost every single game over the last couple of slates. Aaron Gordon, he's back. Nothing really to report over here for Denver. And then over here on the Golden State Warriors side, nothing to report for them. Draymond Green still suspended. Gary Payton still out. Going over the DraftKings site, I play the most on the site that, most of my content is based around. If you guys don't have an account and you want one, check the link down in the description below so you guys can get that deposit match bonus and join me over here on DraftKings. Now, it's 2 games. I am not going to make this video super long or anything by any means. I am legit going to try to keep this below 15 minutes because there's only so many different things you can talk about in different ways. One of those things, of course, that we can talk about is the fact that is Milwaukee going up to San Antonio. Luckily, it's the first game on 2-game slates. Be very honest with you guys. Play light. It's 2 games. Unless you legit have that diamond in the rough, this 3K player that's down here that just pops, or you legit jigsaw your way to the right studs, scrub type build, whatever the freaking heck it's going to be, or a balanced build, you're not going to have the nuts. You're more likely going to be a lot of ties, things like that, especially on a 2-game slate because everything's going to be chalky. Legit, the field is going to be all over, all the great plays. Of course, everyone's going to look, oh, Giannis going up against the Spurs. He should do pretty good in this spot. Granted, I'm not going to lie, Giannis, he's been so-so going up against the Spurs throughout his career. When he played him early in the season, he dropped 61 fantasy points. That's not bad. Still, 12K. I don't hate it, don't mind it. But, on the other side of things, I can get 400 less for Joker. Guess where everyone's going to go? They're going to go to the Joker. He is much cheaper, so on and so forth. So, little things like that. Now, of course, talking about it, we got to talk about the fact Chris Middleton, game time decision. I do not believe Chris Middleton is going to play. With Chris Middleton being out, we could probably see some more minutes for players like Pat Connaughton. Maybe we see Beauchamp get some more minutes, or Andre Jackson, which we have seen him get some starts and stuff so far this season. So definitely, I want to pay attention to know if Chris Middleton is going to be in and out. Even if Chris Middleton is in, out, doesn't really matter to me. The main players that I do want to focus on over here, besides Chris, he's in a decent spot, good spot. Don't hate, don't mind him at all. Giannis, be the top tier, of course. If you want to go there, you want to mess with that, don't hate it. If the Spurs can somehow keep this 9-point spread game close, 9-point spread, still don't understand it. This has the higher total of the 2 games anyway between them and the Golden State Warriors game. Definitely feel like one way or another, you're going to end up stacking one of these 2 games. Like, that's just point blank period how it's going to be. But Giannis, don't hate it, don't mind it. But this is definitely going to be setting up for a decent Damian Lillard spot, Damian Lillard game. If you look at the game when they played earlier this season, Dame, he had one of his better games going up against the Spurs, and that's where he went out there and dropped 58 fantasy points going up against them. Now, last night, 39 fantasy points, did that in 36 minutes, only 5 assists, 3 steals, 23 points. This sets up for a pretty decent game. Now, we've seen opposing point guards going up against the San Antonio Spurs. They've done very well. Like, really well. John Morant last night, 50.25 fantasy. Well, John Morant last time they played. Sorry, not last night. Last time they played, 50.25 fantasy points. Scoot Henderson, who we were on before he actually got hot, dropped 52.25 fantasy points. Even the game before that, he dropped 35 fantasy points prior. Luka dropped 79. Kobe White dropped 36. Damian Lillard, first time he played, of course, like I said, 58 fantasy points. So, it's there for Dame to actually finally pop off and have a huge big game going up against the Spurs. Really do like the upside and everything for him. I don't believe Chris Middleton actually played the first time that they played the Spurs. Let me see if I can't find that real quick. Chris Middleton. No, he did actually play. He played 28 minutes and dropped about 29 fantasy points. So, interesting. Really do want to know if he's going to play or not. But Dame, be the main guy. Pretty sure. Looking at ownership right now, Dame is projected for about 30% ownership. Giannis, he's sitting around 50, so I kind of do actually believe that. It's going to be one of the other in regards to studs between Giannis and Luka. I mean, not Luka, and the Joker on today's slate either way. Now, if Chris Middleton was to sit, of course, like we said, Pat Connaughton, maybe he'll get some more minutes. Don't mind, don't hate him. Bobby Portis, really do like Bobby here in this spot, especially if Chris says maybe we could see a couple more rotation minutes, or if the game possibly gets out of hand earlier. Don't hate, don't mind that at all. Played against the Spurs last time, 26 minutes. He dropped 45.5 fantasy points, 6K. Really do like the upside for Bobby here in this position. And like I said, just period, did that in 26 minutes, 10 of 16 from the field, 10 rebounds. Just literally did it all out there. Really do like the upside for Bobby here. Pat Connaughton, like I said, don't mind it. 4-3. I'm pretty sure he's going to be pretty highly owned. 18 minutes. He went 1 of 8. If he actually has a decent shooting night, he'll put up more than 12.25 fantasy points. That's at least about a 20+ fantasy point type game if he actually can go ahead and get it going. Cameron Payne, if you do believe the game will blow out, definitely can see him getting some decent run. 13 minutes, only 7 fantasy points, but he's been getting at least decent run. As you can see, blowout game going up against the Brooklyn Nets. 23 minutes to drop 38 fantasy points. So if you want to go on the side of blowout, then definitely going to be looking towards the bench pieces. Cameron Payne, Beauchamp, Jackson Jr., those players like that are going to be the ones that you want to target and go to. But if you think the game will stay close, then we're going to want to look at the studs. Giannis, Dame, Lopez, if you want to even mess with there, but I'm not really attacking opposing centers going up against Wemby right now because he actually is playing decent in regards to defense and things like that. Going over to San Antonio Spurs sides, I honestly cannot talk enough in regards to if he can get his minutes bumped up. Like, please give me 28 to 30 minutes of Wemby. It's a national televised game. I know that he's supposed to be on the limit. Zach Collins is still out. Of course, you're still rotating between him and Sweet Mahai Luke. Is getting, well, no, actually only played 2 minutes. Who did they run at the center position last game with so Wemby? Did they run Shochan at center? It's kind of interesting. They didn't give, or was it Barlow? Got some weird run. Okay, looks like it's Barlow. Okay, interesting. So Barlow looks like that's another value play we can actually go to over here for the Spurs. Looks like maybe Mashiva Vavailuk really isn't getting that burn and run. Alden team high. That was his last time he was out there, so not too interested. All right. Anyway, Wemby, if you believe that Wemby can go out there and play 28 minutes, like I said, he's a really great fantasy point per minute producer. Played against the where is your game? Did you even play in that actual game going up against the Bucks? Wemby did not play in that game going up against the Bucks the first time, so that's interesting to actually see. It'll be the first time we actually get to see him going up against them. To me, opposing centers have actually done pretty decent going up against them as well, so be interesting to see. But of course, with that minutes limit, I really kind of don't see myself getting there too much. Definitely would be a GPP option. Looking at a 22% ownership right now, according to everything I'm looking at. Everyone more than likely is going to just be flocking to Trey Jones, 5'1", makes sense. Starting point guard, you're going to tell me he probably will go out here, maybe play about 27 to, I'll give him 30 minutes just at the starting guard position. Definitely his assists will be able to go up. I know he can go out there and score with the best of them when he actually gets the minutes to burn, and we know opposing point guards have literally torched Damian Lillard in his non-existence defense. Literally, Halliburton just dropped 63 and 58 fantasy points on him. Donovan Mitchell, 61 fantasy points. Dennis Smith Jr. for the Brooklyn Nets before the game blew out, all the other good jazz, 35 fantasy points. Out there going up against him. Jalen Brunson, 54, 52. It's there. Trey Jones, I give him about 30, 35 fantasy points definitely in this position spot. I really do like the upside for him coming into this game. Outside of that, besides Trey Jones, I definitely don't mind taking a look or messing with players like Shochan. I know he's going to get some burning minutes. City Osman, and then just like we said, if you think the game might blow out or something like that, I don't mind looking at Barlow. Really does kind of pique my interest now that I see that he is getting burned and run. And if Wemby's limited, or if the game does get out of hand, then Barlow might could see those minutes. This is one of your scrubs that'll get slid in there. So now, if you're, and honestly, if you want to, maybe if you find enough scrubs that you can actually slide in, you put Barlow. You can go ahead and put Giannis at the power forward position. Make sure they actually do have him as power forward eligible, not just center today. Yeah, you put Giannis at power forward. Then if you want to mess with it, get Joker at the other, put him in util. You can be able to run those guys up there, and you're just trying to bank on the floor games from both of those guys, at least get you 60 plus fantasy points to give you 120, and just hope that your rest of your lineup comes to fruition for you that way. Going over to the Denver Nuggets side, like we already said, looking at it, this game, I kind of can see merit in just fully stacking this game if it's suspected to be a closer game between them. But Denver, Golden State Warriors, don't hate, don't mind it. The Joker is close game, should actually be able to go out there and do decent. Opposing centers going out there have actually had decent games if they're actually a high usage center. Bam dropped 38. Joker in the first game going up against him, he dropped 55. Al Horford, he dropped 41. So definitely some guys that we can go to over there. Well, definitely some guys you can look at in regards to what the Joker can go out here and actually put up and do. Don't hate, don't mind that. And then also, of course, Jamal Murray. Looks like he's back in full swing. Really some good fantasy point games. 30 plus fantasy points in all of his last 5 games. Really do like the upside and everything we can get from there. And then if no minutes limit or anything like that, I do like Aaron Gordon. He only played 25 minutes in that game back, so maybe that bite and stuff might be bothering him a little bit. Definitely something I'll keep an eye on and worry about in regards to him. But I do like the upside for Aaron Gordon. We have seen opposing power forwards have actually had some pretty decent games. Hopefully, maybe he can get back up to his 30-ish minutes. And those injuries and stuff are not going to bother him too much. Definitely be something to pay attention to. But if you think that he's going to actually struggle, then you can always go to Michael Porter Jr. Really, as long as he's stroking it and actually can hit his shots, he'll be able to go out there and put up a decent number. When he played against the Golden State Warriors early in the season, he dropped 44 and 30 plus fantasy points in both of his games so far. So the upside is definitely going to be there for him, for MPJ. And then outside of that, you can take a gander, mess with Reggie Jackson off the bench. Braum be another player I would actually consider as a value play. Strother, and then Peyton Watson if you want to mess with that. But mainly it's just going to be the studs over here. Michael Porter Jr., Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic if I want to mess with anything for that. Going over to the Golden State Warriors, I really do wish they put my boy Pod back into the starting lineup because the boy was balling. he was balling. Looking at it, I know Kuminga, he's going to start. I really think this might be a down game for Kuminga. Not too interested in him right here. Looking at it, what he played going up against them early in the season, he dropped 21 and 18 fantasy points, and that was in 19 and 23 minutes. We already do know if Kuminga comes out the gate and he's not having a great game, they will pull him. They're not going to give him his full allotment of minutes, as you can see, 23, 24, 25 minutes. Those are limited minutes games right there. Going up against a tough Miami defense. Only played 24 minutes. First time playing against Denver, 23 minutes. Oh, well, no, this was the second time. Second time playing against Denver, only 21.75 minutes there. And he started in that game. So definitely, I do know that Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr., those guys, they actually do play some pretty decent defense. Wouldn't be surprised if Kuminga gets limited here. So not someone that I'm really too interested in. Like I said, I do wish that Pod did start again. Don't mind it. He's still playing kind of starter minutes, 25 to 28 minutes a game. Definitely, if he's getting it going, stroking, looking good out there, I could see an extension in regards to his minutes for him. So do like the upside in regards to it out there for him. So definitely something you can actually consider. But not gonna hate it if you guys want to fade him. Outside of that, Tracy Jackson Jr., we know he's going to go ahead and get the start. This would be an interesting matchup nonetheless for him. He played 15 minutes going up against the Denver Nuggets last time that they played. 13.25 fantasy points, so almost a fantasy point per minute out there. Opposing centers going up against the Nuggets have actually had some pretty decent games. Nick Richardson dropped 30.5 fantasy points. Chet dropped 41. Claxton dropped 46, so it's in the realm of possibility. A decent fantasy point per minute producer in Tracy Jackson Davis could go out there and do it. But if you want to fall back and maybe fade Tracy, come down here to Kevon Looney instead, who is value play. Played 17 minutes in the last game, 14.25 fantasy points. We know he does a little bit of everything besides just going out there and rebounding and can get a little bit of score. We do know he has high assist upside, especially with the players that he plays with over there. So I really don't mind that at all. Outside of that, only other player I would be remiss if I didn't mention, of course, Steph Curry. If you want to go with the stud, you believe that he's going to actually play up here in this game. Playing against Denver last time, 34 minutes, they held him to 30 fantasy points. So definitely something I would, pay attention to. Not a must play by any means necessary, but definitely something to keep an eye on. So, yeah, definitely something I want to look at. But outside of that, guys, like I said, it's a 2-game slate. I can't beat this too heavy. I'll have props and everything out a little bit. I gotta go get kids from school, so hopefully this breakdown is everything that you wanted. I will have I'll have a pretty decent write-up and stuff for how I'm gonna attack the slate, because it's a 2-gamer. You got to get different in some way. I'll let you guys know my values and stuff that I'm gonna really be high on and things like that. Hopefully you guys do find some value and you guys got something out of this. Drop a like on the video if the video did help you guys, and let me know down in the comment section. Which stud do you think is the stud that you got to play? Giannis, Wemby, the Joker, or Steph Curry? Who you guys going with? Peace.